As I said, everything is on the table, and I support the principle of dollar-for-dollar matching tariffs. It's something that we are absolutely going to be looking at if that is how they move forward. The bottom line, as you say, is that import tariffs, like the 25% that President Trump is proposing, are actually paid or would be paid by American consumers. And if and when Canada needs to respond with equivalent tariffs on imports from the United States, those would be paid by Canadian consumers. That's why we will look, as we have in the past, at things that have replacements for Canadian consumers that wouldn't be tariffed. The example from last time was Heinz's ketchup being replaced by French's ketchup, because French's was still using Canadian tomatoes in its ketchup. Having Canadian consumers have alternatives to having to spend tariffs on American inputs is part of how we make sure that we don't bear, or Canadians don't bear, undue costs around tariffs.
This trade policy talks about both trade imbalances, and we know Canadian authorities have a counter to those arguments, but it talks about that and using perhaps a generalized kind of global tariff to respond to that. It also talks about the concerns about illegal migration and the fentanyl trade from Canada, Mexico, and China. Canada lumped in with those other two countries who data would show are far more serious a threat than Canada. This, again, another point that Canada's advocacy has been trying to make over and over again. It talks about sort of investigating that, recommending what might be appropriate action for that. But those investigations are all centered on an April 1st deadline for Trump's cabinet, his officials, to sort of investigate and recommend action. Trump, though, talking about February 1st, which suggests that in his mind, he wants to act before his own officials have even prepared their response and their plans and made their recommendations.